What the... Mum.
A few bits of food and drink in there to keep you going for a few weeks. We don't want you fading away.
No chance of that.
It's easy for you to say. I've seen what these halls of residences are like. All cardboard cubicles. Not enough room to swing a cat in them, there's not. The kitchen appliances haven't been pat tested since the war.
I think things have progressed a little since university, Mum. Thanks anyway. Some of that stuff looked very appetising.
Here we go.
Thank you. Right then, Mum, this is it. It's going to be midnight before I arrive otherwise.
Okay then, love. Good luck with everything. And don't you forget to phone me the minute you arrive.
Yeah, of course I will. Good luck with my replacement.
Oh, Ben Coleshaw, don't be so silly. I could never replace you. I'm going to miss you.
Yeah, I know. Well, take care of yourself, especially on that bloody round of yours. And if a better job comes along...
Oh, don't start with that. Honestly. Lectures start tomorrow.
See you later.
I'm going to miss you. Come on then. Oh, as you were, love. Need a cup of tea after all that.
How are you feeling?
Well, mixture really. I'm proud that he's turned his life around and gone off to university, but disappointed that he's moved out of home. And I'm frustrated he wouldn't let me repack his clothes bag. Still, he'll be back again in about 10 weeks, eating me out of house and home.
I'm sorry my arrival had to come on the same day as his departure, but what with my interview at the gardening centre, I wanted to make sure I was here.
Oh, you don't have to explain yourself to me, Nikki, love. You need the money to pay the rent. Anyway, it's important to settle in before you start something new, I think. What time's your interview?
9:30. I worked up at Brady's in my neck of the woods for the past 3 years, so I think that should put me in quite a good position.
Yeah, I should think so. You did tell me. What is it you're studying?
Psychology. You've got an excellent professor up at the university, Professor Cartwright. He's got years of experience, knows so much.
Oh, it's all a bit over my head, I'm afraid. Cartwright. I think I collected some money from him for some books one time over on Page Street. So, I don't suppose you need a guided tour of the city, do you, after a year at university studying and partying?
I'm sure I could lead a pub crawl if needs be.
Or perhaps I could give you a guided tour of the house instead. You'll have to excuse the mess though, most of it's Ben's. And as we go up the stairs, there's still boxes from the move.
Oh, have you only recently moved in?
I wouldn't say that exactly. About 3 months ago. I just haven't been very organised.
It's a lovely house, really modern.
Oh, thanks. About 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to afford anything like this. It'd have been completely out my price range. But my boss, Doug, he's given me some excellent advice in investments and shares and things. And then my ex has finally coughed up after the divorce settlement, so I've been able to save a bit.
Where do you work, Rita?
Oh, a local company. I meet all kinds of characters on my rounds. It's a really interesting job. It's called Doorstops.
No, what is charging? The clients, yeah? Excuse me. Oh, good afternoon, Rita. What nice of you to join us.
I'm only 5 minutes late. I don't call 10 to 9 afternoon.
Your son get off all right?
Yes, thanks. Mind you, I had to phone him to check he'd arrived all right. Completely forgotten.
Yeah, well, he'll have a lot to think about now, won't he, with all those young lasses parading around in their thongs and G-strings and God knows what else. Pub crawls, drugs, I don't know, like there's going to be tons of stuff he ain't going to be thinking about his mum for too much longer.
Poor Jack, you sound so jealous. Is that what you got up to when you went to university?
Yeah, too right.
Well, is that how you ended up here, working for peanuts? Perhaps you should have put going to lectures on your to-do list.
Okay, cabaret over. Now I've got a couple of important announcements to make this morning, and I need you all to pay attention, so if you wouldn't mind. Okay, well, I'd like to welcome a new face in Doorstops today. This is Colin Reynolds. He's joining us today.
Oh, welcome to Doorstops, Colin. I'm Rita.
Hi Rita, very pleased to meet you. Alright.
Colin is going to be replacing Malcolm, who's definitely not returning to work. Unfortunately, he's on long-term sick. This is Jack Harker and Paul Rossington, who will help you with your initial rounds. And this is Rita Coleshaw, who will be a great help to you as well.
Yeah, thanks Doug, but I should be fine. I've had plenty of experience in this field in the past, and I hope to bring some of my successes to Doorstops.
Righto, boss. Yeah, well, if you've got anything else to say, I've got a shed load of calls to make this morning, so if you don't mind.
Well, you'll have double the amount of calls to make, Jack, after you hear my latest enterprise for Doorstops. Stationery. This is just a sample of the huge amount of stock we've received this morning. They come from a large company in London called Wilton and Tribe. Now, they're a company that are hoping to open up regional centres in the south of England, and they feel that Derby is the perfect place to start up.
Wilton and Tribe, they're a stationery outlet, aren't they?
Yeah. Wilton and Tribe produce their own range of office stationery and office furniture as well. They've just bought out Ink.com. I don't know if you've you heard of them. Yeah, they're trying to get them to rival eBay online. Big player. Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, spot on, Colin. And it just so happens that their marketing officer, Len Regan, is an old mate of mine. He's very keen to involve Doorstops in their web products, collecting money and so on. Now, if we can shift 3 large bags of this stuff per week, we can make quite a profitable deal, and we can land ourselves a 6-month contract.
Wait up, just a minute. Pens, pencils, Pritt sticks, root. You can't be seriously suggesting that we sell that on our rounds?
Well, trust you to have a negative attitude.
It's a load of junk, man. I had enough trouble getting the punters to cough up for stuff they bought years ago, not let alone this.
Doug, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to agree with Jack on this one.
Bloody hell, thank God I'm sat down for this.
I don't think you've properly considered our clientele. Well, most of them are out of work, they're housewives. Yeah, they just haven't got any money. They're not that kind of people.
I've just been thinking about my calls this morning, and I can't think of one person who'd be interested.
This is just bloody typical of you lot. A new idea comes along and you shoot it down before even trying. If this comes off, this could be a fantastic deal for Doorstops. It could mean cash bonuses for all of you, maybe even a permanent rise.
Well, we've no doubt the rewards will be good, but it's just not a practical exercise.
Well, to be honest with you, we wouldn't shift half a bag of that crap between us.
Would you stop calling it crap? This is the kind of negative feeling that sends small businesses down the pan. If we carry on like this with this sort of attitude, then we'll follow as well. We'll sink without a trace. This is the kind of contract that Doorstops needs.
Look, it's just not feasible.
Then make it work.
It's alright for you sat up here behind your desk, radiator, cup of tea, chatting to your mates on the phone. You're not the one out on the streets in the cold and the rain trying to sell crap to people.
Don't you dare try to undermine my role here. I work bloody hard.
Yeah, excuse me, mate. I know you've been out of work for a couple of years and your trade is bricklaying, but can I interest you in some Pritt sticks? Come on.
Oh, don't try and get clever.
Okay, I think this is getting out of hand now.
Absolutely. We've all got to pull together and give this a try. I don't know what the fuss is about myself. I'm confident I can sell a bag of that stuff on my own a week.
Well, I don't know how you can make that kind of claim before...
We have to pull together. It's good for business. Mr. Banks is right. Sink or swim these days.
Yeah, well, maybe we could have saved a few bob by not replacing Malcolm.
That is enough. Now I entrust you all to do your utmost to try and sell as much stock as you can from Wilton and Tribe. I'll be monitoring you all carefully. The individual who comes off with the best profit, who sells the most stock, will be rewarded well. I'll be in my office.
Who you got first on your roster?
Well, I can predict what my first reaction's going to be to this.
What is all this rubbish for? What's it all about? I'm not a sign writer, you know.
Well, you could write some letters, couldn't you? Maybe Christmas cards.
Who should I write a letter to, do you think?
To your friends.
My friends. Well, I didn't have any of them to start with, and the one or two I did have are dead now, so, you know, I can't go too far. They'll be expecting Christmas presents, or as soon as I start sending them Christmas cards, they'll think, oh, he's not a bad old fellow after all. And that wouldn't do. No, I couldn't see me using this rubbish for that.
Rita's car's not here. And Ben's already left.
It's all about greed. You get 8 workers coming here saying, I've made this and I'm trying to sell it because I can't find a job.
What do you mean by that, Alf?
All we get these days is people knocking that door, and everybody seems to got money and they want some of it. They all think, I should buy this, and can you contribute to old people in need? But nobody ever gives me any of this money that I put to old people in need.
So you don't want any of this stuff then, Alf?
Oh, no, not really. I don't want to hurt your feelings by, blaming you for everything, but I don't see the sense of me buying things. The way I see it is your firm is there to collect debts. It's not to try and get us poor old innocent people like me in deeper debt by flogging stuff that come from somebody's store somewhere.
I know exactly who I'm talking to, Mr. Banks. And if you don't tell Rita to get me out here straight away, she'll find most of her possessions bagged up and off to some drug dealer, no doubt.
Mrs. Haverstoke, would you kindly refrain from calling Rita at work every time you have a minor crisis? Rita is no longer your next door neighbour, so find some poor other soul to unload your problems on.
How dare you? I thought Rita was a friend of yours. It's a good job I was calling around with some posts, because there's an intruder in our house.
But you say this intruder is a young woman. It may interest you to know that Rita has...
If you're not going to help, then I shall just have to make a citizen's arrest for myself.
Mrs. Haverstoke, there is nothing frail about you. Only your sanity. If you won't listen to reason, then please get off the line and let me get on with my life.
Mr. Banks? Mr. Banks? Oh, right, here he goes. Oh.
Sorry, Rita, but I get mine from Mrs. Jackson down the road. I prefer to keep the small stores open.
Yes, well, I do have some nice-looking pens in here. Be quite posh, nice for Christmas presents.
Well, I appreciate you've got to sell your stuff, but really, is it such a good idea? It must be so humiliating for you.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry to waste your time. I'll see you next week then. Take care.
Well, good luck. You'll need it.
So, some sticky tape and glue, maybe?
Yeah, that would be handy. I'm always putting pictures of the animals up on the walls. Sergeant Taylor, will you come out of there?
So maybe I could put you down for some tape?
Come out, I say. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. He's in one of his stubborn moods. What were you saying? Tape? Tape, no. Pulls the wallpaper off, and when the heating's up, it all peels off. No, and Snowy and Ginge, they can't settle if there's a nip in the air.
Right, well, how about some nice...
I will count to 3, and if you're not out, I will get Chief Inspector Taylor to fish you out.
What about some blue tack? I've got several packs here.
1.
Well, I can always order more. Shall I take this as a purchase?
2.
Right, well, I can see you're busy, Mrs. Parker, so I'll just take your £11.20 and leave you to your home zoo.
3. Right, Chief Inspector, fetch. Now, what were you saying about sticking things up, Rita? Wonder what's up with her today.